Good morning, it's Natalie here again from Legacy Church in Walsall. I hope you are all safe and well. Now, in our last video, we found out all about Saul on the road to Damascus and how he changed from being on the wrong path to getting on the right path, how he accepted Jesus, how he changed his ways, and how he became one of the most famous people in the Bible for telling people about Jesus and leading them to Christ. So we're going to carry on this week with our Friends and Heroes clips. And the one that we're going to be watching today is all about Ruth and Naomi. Now, that's the Bible story, but of course there will be a little story about Mackie and co that runs through this as well. So we'll watch what happens to them, and then in some way they'll be able to bring in the story of Ruth and Naomi for us. And this week we're going to be exploring the idea of being prepared to accept people, even if they're different from us. So it's about just knowing that we're all different. We're all created different by God. Some people might believe something different. Some people might not believe in our God. It doesn't mean that we can't accept them for who they are and be friends with them. Jesus did just that, didn't he? He connected with people. He was kind to people, he loved people, he made friends with people. Didn't matter where they came from. Do you remember Zacchaeus, the tax collector? Yeah, Mary Magdalene, somebody that other people would not mix with and have in their homes, but Jesus did. And that's what he asks us to do, without judging anybody, just accepting people for who they are. Now, our story this week is called Lost in Alexandria. And Leah sees a man who looks like her father in the marketplace, and she wanders away from Mackie and Rebecca, and she soon finds that she's lost in an unsafe part of town, because remember, these are Jewish people and they're in a Roman city and they're out and about, and she could be in dangerous territory here, so it might not be very pleasant. Let's find out what happens and whether they manage to find Leah. So bear with me, I'll share my screen with you now.
The armies of the great Roman Empire conquered all before them, even my home, the port of Alexandria in Egypt. When I grew up there, everyone called me Mackie. The city was full of secrets and intrigue. The governor, fearful that the Jewish rebellion in nearby Judea would spread, ordered a crackdown on the Jews and Christians. But my friends and I never gave in. We shared the stories of our people's heroes, and soon we became heroes too.
I'm going to have a sword like that someday. To cut open coconuts.
It's very pretty. Can we afford it?
Are we gonna be here all day? I want to see the man with cobras in his beard.
Not now, Leah. How much is this one?
It depends on how much you want.
Oh. Father?
How much is this one? It's very pretty.
Let's review what we learned yesterday. To escape the tower where King Minos had them imprisoned, Daedalus built wings like a bird's for himself and his son Icarus. They leapt from the tower, and the wind carried them aloft on their wings, high over the sea. They could see from Samos and Delos all the way to Labynthos. Portia, wake up. Are the myths of Greece really that boring? What am I saying? Of course they are. Go on. We'll finish later.
Thanks, Lydia. I really must fly.
I'll fix you, you feathered freak!
What are you doing to Pontius?
Nothing. Just inviting him to dinner as the main course.
You leave him alone. He belongs to my friend.
This rat with wings flew in out of nowhere and started building a nest in my lunch.
That's not all he did in here. Bad bird.
Bad bird! Bad bird!
Hi, Uncle.
What is it, Portia?
3 questions. What news of my father? When will I see him again? And must I keep studying with Lydia?
3 answers. None, I don't know, and absolutely.
But, Uncle...
I have no time, Portia. Hotheads in Judea are stirring things up, and when that happens, our Delta Quarter gets unsettled.
Perhaps if you weren't so harsh with them.
Harsh? Child, if I were as harsh as some in Rome would have me be, there would not be one building standing in the Delta Quarter. But never mind. You just go buy yourself something.
Yes, Uncle. There he is! Oh. Oh. Father! It's me, Leah! You're not my father. Hey, where did Rebecca and Maggie go?
I'm busy. I'll feed you later, Agamemnon.
Starving here.
I'll feed you too, but not now.
Not now. I'm busy.
Diana?
Portia, really, I've already explained. Mackie and the girls aren't here. Come back later.
I can wait for them.
I'm afraid not. I have many things to do, and frankly, you're in the way.
Then maybe I can help you with your chores?
I'm sure you have your own duties at the palace, or servants to do them for you.
I'm busy.
What does Portia want from us anyway?
A kind word, a friendly face, a home away from home.
I have kind words for my family, and a friendly face for everyone. And I made a home away from home for Leah and Rebecca. How much of my time, my life, am I expected to give? And to a Roman at that.
Diana, Portia's not just a Roman. She's a child, away from her family. She needs the warmth of belonging, to know that wherever she's from, someone cares. It's like the story of Ruth and Naomi. Naomi, her husband, and 2 sons fled a drought in Judah. They settled in Moab, where the sons married Moabite women, Ruth and Orpah. But then Naomi's husband died, and her sons also died. Naomi decided to return to her home in Bethlehem. Ruth and Orpah wanted to go with Naomi, but Naomi told them to go back to their own people, that God would find them new husbands and new homes. Orpah returned to her village, but Ruth was different.
Ruth, believe me, there's nothing for you here. You must go home. There's no point staying with me. Orpah has gone. You go back with her.
Don't make me leave you, Naomi. Don't make me go. I want to go anywhere you are going. I want to live where you live. I want to do everything you do. I will stay with you forever.
Look!
Naomi, is that you?
Where's your husband and your 2 sons?
It must be 10 years at least since you left.
Is this your daughter-in-law?
I've had a dreadful time. I am now all alone, except for Ruth.
Soon all Bethlehem had heard of Naomi's sad story. People were kind to them, but Naomi and Ruth were poor and had very little food. At that time of year, the poor were allowed to follow the harvesters and scavenge for leftovers. The field that Ruth went to was owned by a man named Boaz.
Who is that girl over there?
She's the Moabite girl who came back with Naomi. She's been working here since dawn, without a break.
Make sure you stay in this field. Don't wander off to other people's fields. And stay with the women. You'll be safe then. Oh, help yourself to water.
Why are you so kind to me? I'm a foreigner.
I've heard all about you. How you've helped Naomi since her husband died. And how you left your home, your own country, to come here and live among strangers.
You're very kind to me. You've made me feel at home.
Let her pick whatever she wants. Remember, all of you, leave her alone.
And later on, Boaz married Ruth. Diana, you can't be any more welcoming of a stranger than that. They can become like family, if you're willing to open your heart.
I just don't know if I have room for Portia, in my heart or in my home.
Have you seen Leah?
Leah?
I thought she was with you.
I thought she was with you.
Leah!
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 Do you know, that is, I think, my favourite story from the Bible about Ruth and Naomi. And what a lovely story it is to befriend and love someone from completely different places, different walks of life, and yet her loyalty to her mother-in-law was just so lovely. My favourite, one of my favourites anyway. Okay, so we're going to explore the idea of accepting people, aren't we? Now, let's just quickly recap what's happened in the Friends and Heroes story, because we've seen that Leah goes wandering off. She thought she'd found a father. Then when she got to him, she said, "You're not my father." She looked disappointed, didn't she? And then she said, "Where did the others go?" Well, they hadn't gone anywhere. It was her, and she got so caught up in looking or following this man that she thought was her father that she hadn't realised how far she'd gone. Now, I have to wait until next week to find out whether they find her. I hope they do and no harm has come to her. But let's focus just for a little bit on Portia and Diana. Because Portia went, didn't she? She wanted to speak to Diana. She was fed up of these lessons. She's fed up of being in the palace. And I think she really does love being with Diana and Samuel's family. And I think because they are so accepting, they're so lovely and they treat everyone the same, she really wants to spend time there. And I think maybe she's seeking some guidance to be on the right path. Remember that from last week. Maybe that's what she's looking for. And she's looking up to Diana. She's looking for someone to guide her and some advice and someone to talk to, maybe. But Diana tells Miriam that she doesn't want to give any of her time to a Roman. And this is why Miriam tells the story of Ruth and Naomi. But even after that, Diana seems to be struggling with accepting Portia. And she said, doesn't she, "I don't think I can give any more of my time even to definitely not to a Roman." Which is, it's quite sad, isn't it? Because it's a real struggle for her to accept Portia into her heart and into her home. She said that she's already given her home and her time to Rebecca and Leah. And really, have I got to do it for somebody else? And especially this girl who's a Roman, I don't know whether I can. Can you think of anybody who could help her with that? Yes. Our Lord Jesus. All she would need to do is pray and ask him for an extra portion of grace and love for this girl. We could all do with that sometimes, couldn't we? So, Lord, give us an extra portion of your love and your grace for people that we don't automatically accept, somebody who's a bit different to us. Give us what we need to be able to love them and accept them in the way that you would. Okay. So, we've seen the story of Ruth and Naomi. Like I said, I think that is my favourite. And it's all about acceptance. So why do you think Ruth accepted Naomi the way she did? Well, she must have liked her, mustn't she? And Naomi may have welcomed Ruth into her life and home in the past. And there was something in the way that these two women had interacted in the past that made them special to one another. So it wasn't just because she'd married her son and they'd become mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. They'd formed a special relationship. And that didn't seem to end when the husband, the son, died. So how do you think Naomi must have felt when Ruth accepted her like this? Well, she must have felt truly loved, mustn't she, and not alone. And the story was told by Miriam to help Diana to see Portia in a different way. And now that you understand the story, let's have a think about this. How do you think that Diana should behave towards Portia in the future? That's something to think about, isn't it? She knows this story now about Ruth and Naomi, and really she knows what she's got to do. So, like we've just said about praying for that extra portion of grace and love, I think that she needs to start accepting her a bit more. Let her stay for family meals. Let her spend more and more time not just with the children, but with Diana and with Samuel as well, because she'll learn so much from them and from their circle of friends as well, these Jewish or Christian friends that know of Jesus, know Jesus' love, have experienced it and can share it with her. And what difference does it make to you when people accept you just the way you are, rather than making you change? Well, it does make us feel special, doesn't it? It makes us think that somebody likes us, which is always a bonus. But to be accepted for who we are, knowing that we make mistakes, knowing that we sometimes say or do the wrong thing, and yet people accept us anyway. And that's a wonderful feeling, isn't it? It makes us feel happy and content. And it makes us feel secure in that friendship. It makes us think that that friend will always be a friend, that they will always be there for us. Now, Ruth and Naomi accepted each other and they were good friends with each other, even though they were very, very different. And sometimes the people that we least expect can end up being our friends. We might see someone and think, they're not my cup of tea. Do you know what I mean by that? Not my cup of tea means not something I would normally like, or in this case, not people I would normally tend to spend time with, want to spend time with, or want to have a friendship with. And yet, sometimes they're the people that we do have the best friendships with, aren't they? So let's think about your life. I don't want you to answer these now. I want you to have a think about it, and then you can discuss this with people in your house. Think about someone in your class, maybe, someone who you might go to a club with, or someone who's in junior church, someone that you wouldn't mix with normally. And think about them. Think about how they're different. It could be our hair colour, our eye colour. It could be that they like to have dancing lessons, but you would rather play football. So we are all different, but think about the differences there, but the fact that they don't matter. And in fact, you could teach one another about them rather than keeping your differences separate. So you could bring something different to the friendship. Your partner, your friend might bring the love of football and you might bring the love of dancing. But you could bring that together and you could talk about it together and you could teach one another something about what you like. It's okay to be different. We should celebrate our differences. God didn't make us all the same. We'd be like robots, wouldn't we? And would that be much fun? With no diversity, no difference in our friendships and in the people that we mixed with? Of course not. How would we ever learn to be more like Jesus if we didn't have people around us who were different to us? Because it's all about accepting and loving them. I really hope that Diana can take that step to welcome Portia into her family and into her home. And I really hope this week that you and I can do exactly the same, and we can accept somebody and build a relationship with that person, or build a friendship, or even just speak a kind word to them and let them know that because we're different doesn't mean that we don't have to it doesn't mean that we have to not like one another, that it's okay to be different and spend time together. I hope you've enjoyed that this week, and I hope you've learned a lot from that. Let's pray. Father God, you made each one of us special and different. We sometimes want to be close only to the people who are like us, people who like the same things that we do and who think like us too. But help us to learn to accept people who are different from us in any way. Those who have different ideas, ways of speaking, the colour of their skin, and those who come from another country. Give us the chance this week to realise that we don't all have to be the same to be good friends. And please bless us, Lord, as we become friends and extend kindness to people who are different to us. Amen. Now, keep on watching, because again, we've got some activities to do. So our first one is a prayer guide, and it's all about accepting others, and you will see that on your screen about now. And it says across the top, you can see 3 people who are different from me. So have a think about 3 people at school, at church, at clubs that you attend, people in your family, 3 people who are different. And it says to circle one person's name above who you want to focus on accepting this week. So just choose one of them and write down 3 things you appreciate about the way God made this person, because even though they're different to us, they will have good points, won't they? Things that you can think, they're fabulous at doing this. So list those and focus on the good things about that person. And then what are 3 things you can do to show this person that you accept them and appreciate them? So have a think about how you can treat them this week. Maybe you could just point out, this could be one of these points. Maybe you could just say to them, I think that you are really talented at dancing. I think you are really talented at football. I think you are a fabulous reader, and I love to listen to you read out loud in class. I think that you are a lovely, lovely person and that you are a good friend. Think about these things that you could say to encourage them, be kind to them, speak love to them, and show that you accept them. And when you've done it for one person this week, why don't you come back to this sheet again and pick the next person and then the next person? And maybe we could make that a good habit that we get into, and we could keep thinking about people who are different to us, maybe people who don't have any friends already, that we could try to show kindness and love to and show that we accept them. Now, I know you can't print off this sheet, but really this is very easy to copy down. If you can't copy all of it out, ask an adult to help you or an older sibling. But the ideas are there to help you, so you could have a go at doing this yourselves. Now, the next sheet is Ruth's family tree, okay? And it says Boaz accepted Ruth and married her, and they had many descendants. That's children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. Unscramble the names of some of Boaz and Ruth's descendants in the box on the left and use the list on the right to help you. Then write the names on the tree branches. Right at the bottom it says you can read about how 2 famous members of Boaz and Ruth's family accepted others in 2 Samuel 9, 1 to 13 and Luke 7, 36 to 50. Now think about how your family can accept others too. So you could have a little go at that. And again, no, I haven't got the sheet to give to you, we're online, but you could copy down these names, you could unscramble them to make the names that are on the right, and you could draw a tree and you could list them on there. Read these verses in the Bible with an adult or an older sibling, someone at home who you can read this and talk about it with, and find out which 2 famous members of their family accepted others. I hope that you will accept others this week, and I hope that that helps you with what we've looked at today, what we've heard, what we've seen, and it helps you to accept others by thinking about that story of Ruth and Naomi. I will see you back here very soon. Stay safe and take care. Bye.